So this is basically the strategies that the respondents reported to manage vaccine supply fluctuations. For those of you who were involved in the vaccine delivery, you may remember, most of us do, that the supply of vaccine was unexpectedly interrupted about 10 days after it started, 10 days, 2 weeks after it started. So that was difficult to deal with on the front end. And so we looked at strategies that people reported they used to manage that. So as you can see, the most frequent response, and these graphs are color-coded. They're supposed to be colors of the rainbow, east to west, starting with red in the north. I mean, my directions are challenged, definitely. So it's red, orange, yellow, green, blue. And blue being the western provinces, green, Ontario, Quebec is yellow, Atlantic is orange, and the Northern Territories are this nice fuchsia color. Looking forward to spring. As you can see, the most frequent choice was continued as supplies allowed. We have multiple respondents in each grouping, so you have more than one answer for any given question. We have a large geography, and the delivery was all at a local area, so some respondents were saying they did X and some said they did Y within a certain grouping, and it's true. Cities tended to do differently than rural areas, and that's just reality. So the second most common reported strategy was to limit distribution. And when they suggested limiting distribution, it was usually very much tightly within healthcare. Change priority groups was the third, and restricted clinic settings. There's only one tiny little blue response to stop distribution completely, and it pains me to say that was Alberta. I still have to start taking deep breaths when I say that. This is just what I had said. The most frequent response was continued as possible. Interesting enough, and please, there's people from all these provinces, and I may be misrepresenting your take on it, so you can challenge me directly, but preferably at the end of this talk. It was what we heard from the respondents is that the Northern Territories and much of First Nations were giving a lot of vaccine up front. And so that allowed them to carry on with a normal plan and a normal distribution. So they continued as possible, and Ontario chose this as the only strategy, interesting for this question. But later on in the survey, there was obvious answers that, in fact, locally other things were done. The second response, limited distribution, and other points. Quebec was the only grouping reporting restricting clinic settings within the top three choice, a common choice. Because the Atlantic and Western provinces frequently had similar approaches to things, they tend to weight the response. And that's it. This is the same information, so I believe these materials will be made available to you at the end. Jessica, is that correct? And so if you want to, go, really, is that what we said? This is more detailed, the orange being the low selections and the green being the high selections for the various provinces and the various strategies.